Whenever Barcelona had the ball and they were on an attack, Napoli was spreaded out wide. They had those banks of 5 and 4 in front of them, but they weren't sitting in a low block. They weren't parking the bus. They were spreaded out on the pitch very wide. Alright, welcome back guys. My name is Ishan. Welcome back to Talk Football, home of reviews, tactics and transfer talks. And the UEFA Champions League round of 16 ties are up. They are finally up, and what a week this has been. Too many breathtaking games. Some of them were so unbelievably good. I mean, Barca qualified, Real Madrid are out, Juventus are out. The Mr. Champions League is out of the Champions League for the first time since 2009. And Bayern Munich literally thumped Chelsea 7-1. So guys, I know how much excited you are. I know that most of your favorite teams have made it to the quarterfinals. I know some of you might be disappointed because Madrid didn't qualify, Juventus didn't qualify, but I am so happy right now. I'm literally ecstatic because we finally beat Napoli. I mean, that was a game that was a really tough one. And so without any more waiting, let's do this. Let's get into this. Let's do the post-match analysis of Barca Napoli and Bayern Munich and Chelsea game. Alright, welcome back guys. So here we have Sujit with ourselves. So hey Sujit, Barca is through the quarterfinals. They put Napoli to the bed, and what do you feel about this game?
I felt it was a clinical performance to a decent par, because I can't say we were absolutely dominant throughout the 90 minutes. That would just be false.
Let me stop you right there. Tell me first of all, are you happy with this Barca win? I mean, just to see us qualify, go through this, go past Napoli.
Obviously, I'm happy because one main reason is Kostas Manolas. I'm very glad we put that guy to bed. with his tweets and whatnot. Everyone knows what happened there. And another thing is we didn't scrape through. As we told, Barca has to make a statement, if nothing else, which we did. 3 goals is not an easy task against very defensive Italian team.
They had Koulibaly, they had Constant Manolas. Koulibaly is one of the best defenders this season. Even Constant Manolas is also very aggressive in that nature, but Messi put him to bed. I mean, the first goal, that was... Can you describe that goal? Anybody, just describe that goal.
Whatever. I mean, I can't say anything because this is what was going through my head. Okay, he has the ball. He's running through. He's fallen. The ball's gone. Okay, he has the ball. He's fallen again. And suddenly everyone's celebrating the balls in the back of the net. I'm like...
That's the different Lionel Messi does. Because I've been getting criticisms. This channel has been getting some criticism that we do talk about Leo Messi a lot. That's the reason, guys. That's the reason. Because like I said before in one of my videos, that guy has that capability to turn a game. And he did tonight.
The magic of that goal. This is pure magic. As Guardiola once said, you just have to see him to believe him. That's about it.
Okay, fine. I'm a bit ecstatic in this recording. And I deserve to be. Because I know what Barcelona has been through this whole season. I know how they have, managed to get that second place with all of the drama surrounding the club, with the transfers, with everything, the Griezmann issue. I'm finally happy that we got past Napoli. And like you said, we didn't scrape past. We did beat them. Because if you see this game, that was a game of 2 halves.
Yes, very much. More than a game of 2 halves, it was like period-wise within the halves. If you remember, Napoli hit the post in the 2nd minute.
Yeah.
I was sure, by over. I was convinced we're screwed because the intensity
with which Napoli started in the first 15 minutes, I was like, what the hell is going
on? I had
on?
Those flashbacks of that Liverpool second leg, because that's exactly what it seemed like. Napoli pressing very high up the pitch and Barca passing backwards and mispassing, giving away easy chances. Like, I think within the first 10 minutes they had 3 shots and one of them on the post.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we can be some statistically wrong. Just forgive us for that. This video is not about statistics. Of course, this is just a reaction video, and like Sujit is telling about Napoli being so aggressive in the starting minutes.
This is just an observation more than a statistical analysis. It's an observational analysis. Beyond the statistical analysis, we have our prediction videos where we backed up everything with stats and...
Okay, never mind. Let's just come back. Surely, with this Barcelona match, the first half. Come on, Sujit, what do you think about this first half?
Till the first 10 minutes, first 10 minutes I was very worried. I was convinced that we're going to concede because the chance that they spawned, Mertens who hit the post, it was very clear. I thought it should have been a goal, but the chance came on too early. And you can see the difference a goal creates because Barca was very much on the back foot up till that Clement Longley header.
Yeah.
Then after that...
Actually, that goal came out of nowhere because we weren't expecting Clement Longley to hit the... to score the goal. But let me tell you again, that corner, that goal only came because of the move that Barcelona made and with the shot, because they got the corner with that Messi shot.
And that gave us the momentum because after that we were rampant in the first half. We were going hammer and tongs at... Okay, we're saying we again because both of us are pretty much Barcelona fans. We'll try to keep it as neutral as possible, but forgive us if that doesn't happen because we are ecstatic and I don't see it living long enough because of our next fixture which will come to.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You know what? Because I wanted to do this post-match review just after the half-time. Because that half had everything. The VAR drama, that Koulibaly tackle on Messi, that Messi magical goal. And let me tell you, I was very upset when that second goal wasn't allowed. Not because Messi controlled the ball so superbly and with that goal, but because of that De Jong's, that pass, that nonchalant tap that the guy gave. That was out of this world.
It was so simply done. He wasn't looking up, speculative ball into the box and Messi gets it. No.
And let me tell you guys, I don't think so. Frankly, not letting my intent of a Barca fan playing any role over here. I don't think so that was a handball. I just don't think.
Yeah,
and also, there were too many speculative decisions because if that was a penalty for Barcelona, because that foul on Messi, that deserves at least a yellow.
But one thing we had to give or take is because he was attempting to clear the ball. With God's grace, Messi seems to be fine.
Yeah. I was literally just praying all the time while he was down on the pitch for like a better part of that 3 minutes. He was down and we were like, oh shit, nothing should happen to Leo because next up is Bayern.
Yeah, we need all our guns.
So in the first half, because we saw that Barca were rampant, because they were running the show, after that 15 minutes or so, because after that first goal that Longley scored, Barca were everywhere. The passes were clicking, the team had more confidence, and when Messi got that second goal, everybody had a sense of belief that yes, we can do it, and they did. And the first half, that the ending was not as we expected because Rakitic got that unnecessary lunging tackle on Insigne. If he was
unnecessary would be a very apt word for that because he was not through on goal. Rakitic was not the last man. There were three defenders in front.
Players. Yeah.
There was no point of doing the tackle, but it happened and
I didn't expect him to put up that challenge. Anyways, that first half ended and I think so that we'll be scoring more if the same philosophy continued into the second half. But the second half, it was all Napoli. They had Barcelona by the scruff of the neck.
That second half, one thing I'd say is Barca gave them a bit of possession because we were winning by a comfortable margin. Although they had a lot of possession in the second half and they did get a number of shots, I didn't feel that Barca were threatened too much. They were threatened one or two times, but the defense was solid, if not impeccable. Sujit, they were solid.
Are you telling me that Barca allowed them to play that way?
I think that it could have been a possibility because we pretty much had, once we got those 3 goals in the first half, we did have the game in the bag because as we mentioned in our previous video, we had Griezmann, Messi and Semedo on yellow. So we couldn't risk a very high pressing, extra goal scoring type of game. I'd say they were pretty much holding back in the second half.
Respect should be paid to Napoli because Gattuso had a perfect game plan set. Because Napoli, if it were any other team than Barcelona, if Napoli were on their day, they could have scored. I mean, if you take that Milik goal, had it not been offside the game would have been on.
Done.
Let me tell you, that goal right there tells the weakness of Barcelona. That goal told everything that is wrong with Barcelona right now. And just imagine Lewandowski there and Gnabry with those balls. And Bayern will be keeping an eye on this. They know this is the weakness of Barcelona because they know they are so good on those aerial balls. Lewandowski, I feel it's gonna be a huge clash. I mean, let's not talk about the shots they took. Let's not talk about the chances they created. Let's just talk about their intensity. because the way they have been getting those corners, back-to-back corners all
One
the time,
thing,
and they were
in the first half they were 3-1 down, and they showed immense character to push on from there. I'd give that to them. Napoli, they played out with their hearts. Yeah, they did run down Barcelona, although they were 2 goals down in the overall.
Let me say this. Even though these days Barcelona get a goal advantage of 2 goals or even 3 goals, sometimes most of the times I'm not satisfied, because those 2 goal cushions are nothing. If Barcelona
3 goal
playing,
cushions are nothing.
Three goal cushions are nothing. Never mind. But that's the case with Barcelona. Even in today's match, they had a good advantage of 2 goals, because Napoli weren't going to score 2 goals, but still there was this doubt. I have that doubt in my heart all the time that no, that's not sufficient, because it's not that same Barcelona of that old times where they are ruthless even off the ball.
The thing is, before Barca, once they score even 1 goal, we know they're going to push on and score 2. We know they're going to push on and keep scoring, and that was their philosophy. But here, we feel that with every miss pass, we're handing them an opportunity. That's what at least recent history has been telling us.
Actually, what I saw with this game was 2 opposite mentality. Whenever Barcelona had the ball and they were on an attack, Napoli was spread out wide. They had those banks of 5 and 4 in front of them, but they weren't sitting in a low block. They weren't parking the bus. They were spread out on the pitch very wide, making the pitch their own. They didn't play like
they did in the
first half. And now about Barcelona, whenever Napoli had the ball, all Barcelona did were just go back, fall into around the D area, covered with a back of 5 and 4 in front, and they allowed Napoli to dictate the game in their half. I don't know why Barcelona does this, maybe just to fill in that box so that they don't get shots in that area. But with Bayern, this is not gonna work, bro.
This is not gonna work because Lewandowski, if nothing, at least for the 2 legs of Chelsea, has been involved in 6 goals. 7 goals, 3 goals and 4 assists.
Because we talked about the lineup, we talked about it all in our build-up video, that we would see that diamond midfield in which Suarez and Griezmann will be up top with Messi behind him. We saw nothing of that. That didn't happen. And let me tell you, I was so infuriated with that thing, because whenever Barcelona had to build an attack, I could see that whole left side with acres of space and there was nobody there. Griezmann was there, Suarez was there, and there was Messi. They had no runners on the left, they had no runners on the right. Sergi Roberto is, let me say this very frankly, is according to me useless on that right side of the midfield. I love him when he's playing on that left. I don't know why he's such unpredictable on that left side of the pitch, but on that right side, he feels that he's a right back. He doesn't provide any creativity, but on that left he's something else. And I could see a very deep lack of width on Barcelona field on that left side. I felt that Quique Setien will go out and say, yeah, Ansu Fati, go on, play. Because that would have been a good move if Barcelona had to score more. But since they were leading, I think so that's why they were being so narrow.
Napoli, towards the end, they were committing a lot of fouls. They were committing too many tackles, lunges and tackles. And if we brought out Ansu Fati, if we brought out Riqui Puig, the thing is, if something were to happen to them, they'd be sorely missed in the Bayern clash. So I think generally I'm very critical about Setien's substitutions and man management, but this time I give props to him because he's maintained his whole squad for the Bayern clash, if nothing.
So that's what he was doing in that whole second half. He was preparing the players for that Bayern clash, because he knew that we are through. So that was a reaction on this Barcelona versus Napoli clash. Let us know all whatever you think about this clash.
And what were your reactions when Messi was on the ground?
What were your reaction when Messi was on the ground? Yeah, really. So that wraps up our coverage about Barca versus Napoli. And so let's very quickly get into the other match that we saw, Bayern versus Chelsea.